It's been a whirlwind of emotions for sure. You know, I would encourage anybody if you've got the opportunity to take on a project like this. It forces a lot of professional growth and change that you may not get otherwise, and it's scary and it's stressful and it's nerve-wracking, but I think it's crucial to your overall professional development. Taking on a project like this, there's a lot of decisions you have to make and a lot of things that are going to impact the rest of the golf course for years to come. So you can't really take those decisions lightly. But I think it's important if you spend a lot of time in the planning process and understanding your construction materials and understanding what those materials will do for you. I think that's key. And then also, again, kind of having a team of experts around you is crucial as well too. So you've got to have your team that's helping you build the golf course, and then kind of a team of advisors that are also helping, providing direction on your different mixes and materials, and then providing any kind of agronomic insights you might be looking for. And then also, from an irrigation perspective, having a really quality irrigation designer is, I think, crucial, especially in a project like this where you're moving at that rapid of a pace, that they're responsive and they understand the struggles you're in. So I think having that team of experts around you helps make you better, and it also helps make your team better as well too, because they get the opportunity to build and develop those relationships with the other industry experts, especially when it comes to construction. I think from a personal side, it's more delegation, making sure that everybody's on the same page as much as they can be when you're moving this fast, trusting your people to make the right decisions. And I think that really comes from putting the time and effort into educating them on, the various aspects of a construction project, what the final product should look like, should feel like, should sound like, should perform like. That's, I think that's huge, because it makes me a better superintendent, and it makes them better superintendents in the long run as well too. So that I think is really crucial. Managing a multi-million-dollar construction project is not something you take lightly, and that's stressful at times. I probably got way more gray hairs now than I had in July, as my wife likes to point out. But I think I'm way better for it, and I know my staff is better for it too. Patience is crucial. Patience is crucial. I'd say inherently an impatient person. I think most superintendents are impatient, and that's probably the hardest thing, especially when you're talking about growing fairways in. You want to poke them and prod them and do everything you can to get them to grow and fill in, and sometimes, in some instances, less is better. Knowing when to get on the gas pedal, when to pull back, that takes a lot of patience. I'm very fortunate to have an incredible professional network to lean on and to call and to say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Have you dealt with this before? What would you do? And I think that goes a long way, and calming you down a little bit from time to time, and just understanding that it is a process. Construction starts with demolition, and then construction, and then irrigation, and then grassing, and then growing, and you want it all done as fast as possible, but you got to be patient. You got to let the grass root in and mature before you can start putting maintenance on it. And I think that's taught me a lot. Even now we're trying to push the limit on some of our aeration practices, and we had to learn the hard way. That's maybe sometimes it's a little too much. Let's pull back, and we'll get it more aggressive in the spring when the roots are a little better. But I think overall, like, patience is crucial to being able to get something like this done, because it's a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you try to sprint through one of these things, you're going to burn yourself out, and you're going to be in a bad spot. We're heading to the end zone here, but I think overall it was an enjoyable process for me. There were some frustrating moments for sure, but I tried to have as much fun as I possibly could during one of these projects and enjoy it. And as things started getting finished out, take a moment to pause and kind of reflect a little bit on what we accomplished to that point, and giving some time to the guys for them to also kind of pick their heads up and take a look around and go, wow, like this is special. A lot of times you get the blinders on and you just go to work, and you stop kind of taking a look around, and you stop taking a moment to really see everything that you've accomplished. And I think that's really important because when you're grinding those hours and those days, and you can get pretty negative, and taking a moment to look at how far you've come really helps recenter and reset you, especially when you're struggling. And I think that's huge.